Most mice are born for the pantry, just happy to spend their days dodging traps and praying for a single stale crust of bread. They live in a world of maybes. Maybe I'll survive the night. Maybe the giants won't notice the hole in the flour bag. Me, I stopped praying the night I watched my brothers vanish into the mouth of the dark. I grew up in the shadow of the big glowing box in the living room, watching the Giants movies, the ones with the spurs, the wide-brimmed hats, and the men who didn't take no for an answer. While the rest of my litter was learning how to hide, I was learning how to ride. I fashioned my hat from the husk of a black walnut, and my spurs from the staples of a discarded tax form. I don't want a burrow, I want a frontier. And every frontier needs a man with a rope. They call him the Midnight Shadow, the roughest, wildest, meanest piece of fur this side of the refrigerator. He's 15 pounds of matted black muscle with a notched ear he got from a scrap with a coyote, or so the legends go in the crawl space. To the humans, he's a house cat named Buttons. To the lawless plains of the kitchen floor, he's a four-legged storm of claws and teeth. He doesn't just walk, he prowls like he owns the very air you breathe. He's cleared out 3 colonies in 2 winters, and he thinks the kitchen island is his private lookout. He thinks he is the ultimate authority of the night. He's never met a mouse with a lasso. He's never met an outlaw who dreams in Technicolor. My lasso is a masterpiece of engineering, 6 feet of high tensile black Kevlar I liberated from a fishing reel in the garage. It's light enough to throw in a high wind, but strong enough to stop a freight train. I spent months in the shadows of the dining room practicing my toss on the legs of the kitchen chairs, imagining they were stampeding cattle across a dusty plain. I've got the aim, I've got the nerve, and tonight, I've got the opportunity. The shadow is out there right now, stretched across the rug by the sink, thinking he's the king of the world because no one has ever challenged his claim. He's about to find out that even kings can be roped, and even the smallest ghost has a name. The kitchen floor at midnight is a long, lonely stretch of white desert. I step out from the shadows of the dishwasher, my walnut hat pulled low against the glare of the stove's clock. My staple spurs click against the linoleum with every step, a sound that feels like a gunshot in the absolute silence of the house. I make for the great butte, the wicker basket by the counter. I climb, my tiny paws gripping the fibers like a mountain man scaling a cliff, until I'm 6 feet above the floor. From up here, the shadow looks like a mountain of coal. I can hear his breathing, a low, rhythmic growl that vibrates through the wicker and into my very marrow. He's dreaming of the hunt. He has no idea he's the one being hunted. I unfurl the lasso, feeling the familiar weight of the Kevlar loop in my hand. This is the moment. The wait for it beat before the world explodes. I wait for his tail to flick the signal that his mind is wandering into the tall grass of his dreams. There I leap into the open air, a gray speck against the kitchen lights. I swing the lasso in a wide, glorious arc that would make any gunslinger proud. The loop expands, reaching out for that notched ear, the badge of his violence. It snags. I hit the fur and it's like landing in a forest of needles. This shadow doesn't just wake up, he erupts like a volcano. He roars a sound that shakes the glass jars on the counter, and the ride of a lifetime begins. It's a bucking cyclone. He's spinning, hissing, his paws hitting the floor like hammers hitting an anvil. I'm hanging onto the line with everything I've got, my spurs dug deep into his flank to keep my seat. Ha! I squeak, my voice lost in the thunder of his movement. We tear through the hallway at a breakneck pace, the baseboards zipping past like a runaway train. He tries to scrape me off against the mahogany leg of the hallway table, but I pulled the line hard left, steering his head toward the open living room. For these glorious minutes, I'm not a mouse, I'm a cowboy, the man who roped the shadow and lived to tell the tale. The chase leads us into the blue light of the television, where the Giants left a western playing on low volume. It's the perfect backdrop for a reckoning. He's panting now, his breath coming in ragged, panicked bursts as he realizes the weight on his back isn't going away. He finally stops in the center of the rug, his chest heaving, those toxy yellow eyes wide with a brand new fever. It isn't anger, it's the realization that the world is bigger than him. I slide down his flank, my legs shaking so hard I can barely stand, but I don't run. I stand right there in the flickering light, tip my walnut hat, and walk back into the dark. Because a true lawman doesn't stay for the applause. He just leaves the rope behind as a reminder of who really runs his territory.